Hey guys, Thrasher here. We have a brand new content update and a new banner with Super Gogeta and Super Janemba. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so there are some UI changes. They've changed the way things work. They've also changed combat, and we have a new banner. We'll go through the banner last, so let's get into the news right now and just go through these step by step, get through them as quick as we can. At the bottom here is the actual update announcement. Let's talk about these real quick. Added main story part 2 book 7. So that is the new part of the story. As it says in the next line there, once you do chapter 11 of book 7, you can then teach your Shallot special moves, and your Shallot will be able to transform into a Super Saiyan. So as it says down here, added a feature to allow direct transition between party formation and change equipment screens. And then the next part is it is also now possible to access the change equipment screen from the party selection section on each chapter's detail screen. And we'll show you both of those in just a second. Change the name of a sort setting from friendship level to friendship rank, not a huge thing. Login bonuses can now be reselected from the next login bonus reward found in the player status. Added new Z missions, changed daily mission contents. Those aren't huge. So let's back this out real quick and we'll show you both of those. So what they're talking about is if you go to characters, you have a couple options here. One, if you go to party formation, up in the top right here, there's the ability to change equipment. So you can change equipment on the fly there. And then the other thing is if you go into story, and we just do a story mission real quick. Let's go to one of the new ones. We won't actually start it, but we'll go book 7 chapter 12. There's this new button right here which allows you to actually change the equipment on your party, and then we have the old button which allows you to change the party itself on the fly if you want to before the battle starts. And then let's go ahead and back out, go back, and the other thing we should look at is about Shallot himself. So let's go to menu, and then we go to customize, and once you beat chapter 11 of that, you're going to have the ability to go in here and you can change your transformations. He'll be able to turn Super Saiyan. Let's hit this and you'll see what he looks like, and boom, sweet. Now the other thing to do is we can back out and you have the ability to teach moves. That's what this middle thing is here. You just hit change. It'll show you all the moves that you have available for people who you've gotten up to rank 2, and then down here are the people who are rank 1 or lower, and it shows you every single person that's in the game right now that you can use to teach him a move. So let's back out and then let's go to the actual card itself, because there is one other thing to look at related to Shallot, and that's the fact that when you go to show details, you can actually look at his before transformation stats. You see his power level is 241,000. It'll differ depending on how soul boosted you have him, and then when you switch him to after transformation, you can see he does get an increase to his power level, and then his abilities do change as well. So if we go before transformation, you can see he only has one unique ability, and it's 10% to strike damage. We switch it, now it's 20% to strike damage, and he has a bonus unique ability, which is 20% to strike damage when there is another Saiyan as a battle member. Okay, so let's go ahead and back out, and let's go to the next news item, menu, news. And let's go to, we can skip this. This is just saying that next week the Android 19 event will be here. Cool, but we don't care that much. Hit details. This is the new story event. This is Android 17. You get this red 17 right here. He's an extreme unit, pretty standard, nothing crazy. There are 3 new equipment items. The cool thing about these equipment items is this one and this one are both usable by Saiyans and Android 17. So this top one is actually a pretty quality item. It's 15% roll to blast attack, which is very good. It's not the highest in the game, but it's pretty good. Base health can roll up to 12.5%, which is very good. And then this is the big one in my opinion. Hybrid Saiyans have pretty much been the meta since the last banner, and you now have 15% bonus damage to Hybrid Saiyans. So your Saiyan team can now do some real legitimate damage to the Gotens, the Trunks, the Super Saiyan 2 Gohans, and you can put this on Android 17, so your Android team can also put out some damage against the Hybrid Saiyans. Now the other one here is too bad you were close. The problem I have with this one is base critical is still not an amazing stat in the game. Base blast defense is not a hugely prioritized stat because it's not going to give you a huge amount of bonus defense. And then defense against Trunks, that's cool, but there's only 2 or 3 Trunks characters in the game that you really need to worry about. So this is at best situational, at worst it's just not a good item because the stats on here are not worth your time. Now this one, I'm iffy on this one. This is for Android 17. The issue I have with this one is the third stat here, the Vanishing Gauge Restore Speed. The problem I have with the Vanishing Gauge Restore Speed is because they've nerfed sidestep so hard. Yes, it's still a mechanic in the game, and we'll talk about it when we get there in just a second, but they've nerfed sidestep so hard that you probably won't be sidestepping a lot which means that this Vanishing Restore gauge is probably not that useful, because what you're going to do is you're going to use a character, you're going to use your arts cards, maybe you'll do some forward dashing with some tap attacks, and then you'll have to switch characters. You won't really have time to replenish your Vanishing gauge in most cases, so I'm not exactly sure how valuable that will be. I'll have to do some more testing in PvP. I've obviously done a little bit so far, but I'll have to do some more before I can really tell you how valuable that third stat is. As far as special move damage, that's always good. Strike defense, it's not an amazing roll, 15% isn't bad, but also, like I said before, strike defense and blast defense are not the best priority stats on here because it's not overall defense, it doesn't increase your health, and because it is giving you diminishing returns, it's not going to give you a 15% reduction in damage that you're going to receive. Beyond that, this event is pretty standard. It's like every other event. You're going to have a whole bunch of missions. It gives you close to 1,000 chrono crystals, maybe a little more. It's got all the standard stuff. You have to collect equipment. You have to do 2 million damage in a Rising Rush. Outside of that, it goes up to EX6. The EX6 is reasonably hard. If you understand combat mechanics, it's not going to be crazy, but if you're a newer player, you may have a little bit of trouble with it because they are fairly high level characters. And that's pretty much it for this event. So let's go ahead and back out of here. And then the next thing we should look at is the huge update celebration. So let's go ahead and click this. And there's a few things going on here. So we have the huge update celebration special login bonus. If you go down here, you'll see the login bonuses. We get energy tickets, chrono crystals, some more of those 30% tickets. And then 2 times main story experience. So the best experience in the game now. With this, for whatever reason, they rebalanced how experience works. The best experience in the game is now Part 2, Chapter 1, Book 8 on hard mode. That will give you the most experience per energy. So right now that's giving 2 times regular experience, so make sure to do that to get any new characters up to 1500 if you happen to pull, say, Gogeta or Janemba. And then the other thing is the training time is cut in half, so make sure to use that as well. New Shallot upgrade missions, there's nothing crazy. Essentially it's just saying soul boost your Shallot. I'm trying to find if they're in here. Yeah, so I pretty much already completed all of them, so we got to look at them here. So Shallot upgrade missions, get your Shallot to level 1500, fully soul boost him, use him in some fights, and you'll be good to go. That's pretty much all you got to do there. And you get some chrono crystals, you get some ultra summon tickets, and then I believe the last thing you get is a guaranteed sparking ticket. Yeah, so right here, 1 Masters Pack, 1 sparking ready guaranteed ticket. I will be doing summons on the Gogeta and Janemba banner. That video will be coming out a little later. I'll probably be using this ticket in that banner, so watch out for that as well. And it's just talking about the banner here, a bunch of characters. We don't need to go through all those. I'm sure you've looked at the Masters Pack banner before. The next thing to look at, we are going to skip over the Legends Rising banner because I'll do a full review of that in just a second. We're going to look at the battle balance. So here's the thing. They wanted to decrease the time that combos are going on, and they wanted to decrease the damage that the combos are doing. That's what they're talking about right here. That was their objective. Here's essentially what they did. During the sidestep combo, they are reducing your key restoration, they're reducing your vanishing gauge restoration, you won't draw cards as fast, and your substitution counter isn't going to go down as fast as it would before. So essentially what they've done is they've completely nerfed sidestep. It's still in the game. I've done a little bit of testing with it. My Gohan before was getting around 8.5 key per arts card when I was using a sidestep combo. Now he's getting about 4 keys, so they've cut it completely in half. I haven't done a full test on all of these, but I'm assuming based on that they probably just cut everything in half. At that rate, it's not really worth it to do a sidestep combo, other than if you want to try and get your vanishing gauge back by the time the combo ends, but in most cases it probably won't be back. So we'll have to do a little more testing there to see if we can find a way to lengthen that out a little more so you can get your vanishing gauge back. But at the moment it's looking like with your average character, sidestep combos are either on their deathbed or pretty much dead. But it is still in the game. If you still want to use it, you still can. It's just not extremely effective. There are other options that are probably better in most situations. So let's go ahead and back out. And then one more thing to talk about here is this issue. So as you're summoning, if you have specific characters, sometimes it can screw up and freeze the game. They're just talking about what you need to do here. I'm not going to go crazy into this. You should probably read this part because it is kind of important. So when you're summoning and when you're training, the game can freeze up. all you really need to know is that nothing breaks when the game freezes up. All you gotta do is just kind of reset the game and you'll be fine. And as they say here, if you were doing a summon and it happens, all you have to do is go menu, others, summon history, and it'll show you the characters that you pulled. Obviously it kind of sucks because you want to see them in real time as you pull them. That's half the fun. But, you know, it is what it is. They're going to fix it as quickly as they can. So let's back out here and let's talk about this banner. So I guess we'll look at it here real quick. There's Super Gogeta, there's Super Janemba, then there is the Blue Coup, the Super Vegeta, and then everyone knew that was coming. There's Pycon. Okay, so let's go and actually look at the banner real quick. Right here, featured characters. This Super Gogeta is amazing, and he is the reason, in my opinion, he is the reason that they nerfed Sidestep. Let me show you why. Ability, Ultimate Fusion, 10% to own strike arts damage for 10 timer counts upon landing a strike arts hit. So if you can imagine someone getting a 5, 6, 7 card combo with just strike attacks, they would one-shot someone absolutely for sure. And the same is true of blast damage, but you know, blast is a little bit harder to get those extremely long combos just because it's so expensive key-wise. 10% to own blast arts damage for 10 timer counts. And I will have reviews of these characters in the next few days once we really understand how the sidestep nerf has affected combat. Let's go ahead and close this out. So the point being, this Super Gogeta is awesome. This Super Janemba is awesome. As you can see, their power levels are amazing. We'll go ahead and open this guy up. One of the things that I want to show you here is we're going to go over to, well, let's look at his ability first. Draw a special arts card next. Plus 15 to strike arts cost to enemies for 10 timer counts. That's very powerful. And then if we go over to the actual special move, deals major explode damage and it restores the vanishing gauge by 50%. So that's also huge. Let's go ahead and close that out. So those are two amazing characters. This Blue Coup is still very good, and Super Vegeta is still very good. So you have two characters who are definitely top tier, these two right here, and then two characters who are either very close to top tier or at least very, very good, and then you have this guy. Anyway, so what I would say is this banner is a 3-star Dragon Ball banner. It's definitely worth pulling to try and get the Gogeta, trying to get the Janemba. I would not go spending 10,000 crystals, 15,000 crystals, even though they're awesome units. What I would probably do in most situations, if you're someone who's trying to really be frugal with their crystals, is I would do the daily summons on these guys for the next week, because Ultra Space Time 6 should be coming out next Wednesday, and this guy, because he is a fusion, if we go to ability, Z ability, he gives a bonus to fusion warriors. We have Super Saiyan Gotenks who's coming out, who's also going to be a fusion warrior, and depending on what happens with that, if you get the Super Saiyan Gotenks, that's going to tell you whether or not you should go a little bit harder on this Super Gogeta. So that will sort of give you a better understanding of what you should do with this banner, and like I said, because of that, 3-star Dragon Ball banner, spend somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 crystals on it at full price if you want to. Definitely do any discounted summons, so always do your dailies on this because they are definitely worth it. And that's it for this banner, and that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Like I said, I will be doing a summoning video on this, so watch out for that. And if you have any questions, comments, you guys think I missed anything, make sure to throw it down below and we'll talk about it. And if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.